continuing our journey looking at specific features of the Framemeister, on today's episode of How To XRGB-mini, we are going to take a look at the hue function. First, hue only comes into play when using non-RGB signals. If you're using an RGB SCART connection, the hue function is faded out and cannot be selected. Instead, you have access to the individual red, green, and blue features. However, when using composite, S-video, or component, the hue function is available. Without getting into color theory and television calibrating, let's instead look at a few examples, allowing us to get a better picture out of our old game systems. Ideally, you want a test pattern showing the SMPTE color bars. The goal is to make sure red, green, and blue all look red, green, and blue, while also making sure cyan, yellow, and magenta look cyan, yellow, and magenta. If these 6 colors aren't correct, then the color reproduction isn't going to be accurate. These patterns are available for many systems and can be loaded onto an EverDrive to dial in your settings. However, if you don't have an EverDrive, you aren't out of luck. If we take a look at the NES, for example, on the default hue setting of 45, the sky in level 1.1 does not look blue, instead having a purple tint. When we shift the hue down to 42, the sky shifts to blue, as it should. Level 1.1 also shows off red and green, making this a decent screen for entry-level calibration. Now, in my experience, the S-video consoles like the Philips CDI, Panasonic 3DO, and Nintendo 64 have accurate reds, greens, and blues on the default setting of 45. So let's go ahead and move on to component. On the default 45, depending on your monitor, color detail is somewhat crushed, especially in the red area of the background and the yellow detail of the emblem. Changing this to 47 more accurately reproduces these slight variations of yellows and reds. Moving to actual game footage, on hue 47, the blue of the water is more accurate to the source, while on 45 it shifts more towards cyan. Generally speaking, a hue setting of 46 or 47 on component video will result in more accurate colors. As always, I encourage you to play with all of the different options to figure out what they do and how you might use them. Hopefully, these examples have given you a better idea of how to use some of the Framemeister's more advanced settings and help you achieve an excellent picture.